Okay, so here is the Dux Soup overview that I promised that I would send to you. I want to do a couple of things here. I want to go back to that LinkedIn process around the jab, jab, jab that we talked about earlier. I also want to come model some of the things that you can do with Dux Soup so that you see that. And we'll share some advanced tactics and how to incorporate Dux Soup into those. So I'll walk you through all of that. Hopefully this is a video / audio that you can go back to again and again to help you if you get stuck in the areas of Dux Soup. I decided to record this just because there's just not any good resources out there for Dux Soup, and since we're trying to do something specific as a mortgage recruiting leader, building a process out, I want to make sure that you get that. Okay? So with that said, let me get into this. If I go to the top of my personal page right here, this is what you're going to see on your personal page. You're going to see Dux Soup over here. If you've got it downloaded correctly, you'll see the Dux Soup Chrome add-on right here if you've got that loaded correctly. And if I click this up here in the top right corner, what's going to happen is it's going to open up my options for me. Primary options you're going to use on this particular screen, simply turning the bot on. Visiting profiles. If I had a search request, which I will create here in a second, I could simply click visit profiles and it will go and deliver the message that I have set up underneath options. I'll review options here in just a second. You can simply scan profiles. I don't use that. I do use the stop robot, and this will actually capture data for you. So if you want to download that data, as an example, if there's an email address on a profile, it will capture that for you, and you can download that information. Okay? So I'm going to go up here to options. You're going to need to know what to do within this area of Dux Soup, because this is what determines what messages get sent out and what behaviors Dux Soup actually takes and puts into action. You're going to, if you want to send out a connection request to second or third degree connections, keep in mind if it's a first degree connection, it's someone that's already connected to you. A second and third degree connection would mean that it's connected to somebody else that's connected to you as a first degree or a second degree. It's important to understand this because the size of the audience you can actually view comes through that extension of your network. So if someone is farther than a third degree connection to you, you won't see them. Now you could buy in-mails, which are right now they're $10 a piece, and you could in-mail them if you were able to find them through, say, Recruiter Lite or Sales Navigator, or you were fortunate enough to enter the exact information in your search bar, then you might see them, but it would be very rare. So it's okay to connect with, as an example, industry recruiters. Those would have large networks connecting to branch managers, connecting to loan officers, and because of that, you do want to connect to those because it opens up your network. So there's a little nugget for you as part of who you can be connecting with. If I select this message right here and I have a message typed into this, if I turn Dux Soup on with these two buttons clicked, then that message is going to go out. The underscore, FN underscore, that just is telling Dux Soup to grab their first name and insert that into the message. And I'll model that here in a second so that you can see that. So that's ready to go. I like to use a short message. It simply says, I would like to connect with you here on LinkedIn. How are things going for you? Correct this. And then just all the best, and then my tagline, my title, phone number. If you want to send a personalized message to someone you're actually connected to, instead of sending a connection request to second or third, then you would select this box right here. And this is where you will enter. Once you've connected with someone, now it's time to start jabbing. This will be where you will enter that message. Now this limits you to 990 characters, I believe to be exact. So you're not going to be able to leave long messages here. If it's any longer than that, you're going to have to actually go to that individual profile, click message, and put that message there as a cut and paste or type it out there. But, for the most part, this is going to handle most of the direct messaging that you're going to do in bulk. I like to have this box selected here, endorse the top 3 skills of any first degree connection. That just means that if I turn this on and I'm sending personalized messages, it's also going to endorse their top 3 skills. The tagging profiles. I missed this for a window of time, and so I want to encourage you to think this part through. The tagging profiles piece is really important. Here's why it's important. If I, for example, wanted to send you a thank you after I connected with you, I could go in here and put TU for thank you underneath that. And if I turn this bot on and it goes and it sends a personalized message to you, a thank you message, it will now tag you with the TU. Why it's important is that I don't want to resend that thank you to you again and again and again. So how I prevent that from happening is by creating tags. So if I tag you with the TU and I sent that message to you, the next time I send out the thank you message, I will again put, tag profiles as TU, and I will skip any profiles that have the TU tag. So if it has that tag, and I'll show you where that tag is at in a second, then it will automatically skip you, and I don't have to worry about duplicating my messages to you. I have accidentally duplicated messages. The response from people, people are more likely to respond to duplicate messages than they are to actually respond to a single message. And so it's something that you want to make sure you're aware of. And an easy way to do this is use TU for the thank you message, use J1 for your jab, your first jab, J2 for your second jab, J3 for your third jab. So as an example, if I was now on my 4th or my 5th jab, I would come in here and click skip profiles with, and I would enter TU, J1, J2, J3, and then I could send my J4 message and know that I'm going to, it gives me some methodology around what profiles are going to be skipped and what profiles are not going to be skipped, if that makes sense, okay? So we want to think about that. We want to create a process around that. Dux Soup is not the end-all be-all for the jab process that we discussed. What I do recommend is that you have a top 30 candidates list, and then you can individually jab as a cut and paste once you have those jabs to your top candidates list. So this is not, going to solve all of those problems for you and automate all of this. It will automate pieces of it for you. Okay? I like to skip profiles if they're blank. It depending on what I'm doing will depend on whether I'm skipping profiles or not skipping profiles. Right now I was running a campaign that was hitting about 2,000 branch managers with this tool, and so I didn't want to skip any profiles. On your robot speeds, this is important. I like to randomize this. It makes it look as though you're doing it. Okay? You can even go slow, which will help you. What I do not recommend is that you go medium or fast, because again, LinkedIn monitors behaviors for fraud. And so that means that if somebody stole your identity and took over your account, the first thing that they would do is they would escalate your usage, trying to connect with a lot of people fast before, someone had figured out that their account had been taken over. So they could red flag your account if you go really fast here with the bot. So go slow, be patient with it. I choose random. That makes it look like it's a human being, or you could even just do slow under 50 per hour or slower under 100 per hour, okay? And then scanning profiles, I stay away from fast. I'll go slow or medium. I'm going to turn this thing on at the beginning of my day and let it cruise. So if I'm doing this for 8 or 10 hours and it's hitting 3 pages a minute, I'm okay with that. And then I've got a pause set for once every 20 seconds. Once after every 20 visits. Now, profile visits. What I would recommend is, because you're just starting out in, improving your usage on LinkedIn, is I would leave this up to 50 or up to 100 visits per day. Definitely keep it underneath the free LinkedIn up to 150 visits per day. That would be an okay place to start. I just want the habit of using Dux Soup each day to be something you're doing, because it's an automated process. It will take us 30 seconds to turn this on and let it go do its work. So we just want the habit of that. Connection requests. I think it's okay to have, 100 for you, where you are, have 100 per day or less. And then direct messages, have 200 per day. My settings are higher because I needed to reach about 2,000 people over the course of 2 days. And so that's what I've done here. And then I like to snooze the bot once the daily limit's been reached so that it doesn't continue to work. Those are all the important configurations here. Let me go over here. I'm going to take this box off. I don't want to send anything to first degree connections. I just want to show you how to actually right now connect to second and third degree connections. So I'm going to go over here and let me just create a search. For example, let me just say I want to connect to mortgage regional managers. I like to add the word mortgage in front of it because regional manager can pull in a lot of other industries. If I go mortgage regional managers, it pulls almost 12,000 results. But I don't want my first degree connections to show up. I want second and third degree connections to show up. Almost 9,600 results. Now, if I wanted to have a location, I can select a specific location here. So if I want Dallas-Fort Worth, I could just select that. Now I have 327 people. And because there's probably specific markets you want to focus on, you will want to do this. So let me just show you and model this for you. So now that I've got a criteria here, I can even get more specific. If I want to go after, current companies, past companies, I do like to actually go here, enter title again. Because as you can see, there's other things that can be pulled in here. Dux Soup is not perfect, but if I enter regional manager, it's probably going to reduce the number of people that it's going to pull up. Now I'm down to 56. And what I'm going to do is go up here to Dux Soup. You see it just said Dux Soup at your service. And because my profile is already set up with it in underneath options, which we looked at over here, I only have to make sure it's on and then click visit profiles. Now watch what will happen. It will say it's working. It's going to pause for 11 seconds. And then in the bottom right hand screen here, I'm going to know that it's working, one, because it's told me here. And then a small screen is going to pull up right here. And now it's going to go through those 50-some people that I have. Now it will automatically tab through each page across until it gets to the very end of this list, and then the bot will actually stop. Okay, so you watch it. I'm on her profile. It's actually opening up the connection button, inserted a message, and sent it. Now it will pause, and then it will go on to the next one. And so now I can just move on. I'm done with it. So you create a search criteria. If you need to drill down on that, if you want to drill down on that, and simply turn the bot on, and then you go on about your day. So you can create some really dramatic, some really large searches with this. And, if I search loan officer, for example, mortgage loan officer, I'm going to get 20, 30,000 people that show up in my search results. Then you drill down until you get to a place where you're comfortable being. So that's how you use the tool to connect with your second and third degree connections. Let me show you. I'm going to stop this now. Turn off my bot. Go back over to options, and let's just think in terms of sending a personalized message. I've got two of these open on me. So now I want to think in terms of sending a personalized message. I'm going to turn off sending my second and third degree connections. But now let's say I want to send a personalized message to people that I'm already connected to. This is where we would jab. So one of the cool things that I could do is just say something along the lines of thank you, right? So I'll type up a brief message here. Thank you for your connection. And you could put something in here specifically, or you could just say simply thank you for your connection. Okay, I'm not going to get real elaborate here. I like to jab immediately out the gate with something that's of value to them. And so let me just, one of the things that I have already shown you is the message that I use with Andy Andrews. I could shape that message and put that message in that box as a jab, just say as a thank you. I won't do it right now, but we could do that as a thank you for your connection. I'd love to give you something of value and put that there. We'll just do this. Thank you for your connection. I'm going to go back over here now. Here's where you would use this. Let's see here. My bot is still working. So I'm going to open up a new LinkedIn browser real quick. Shut this one down. So again, if I create a search criteria, it will go to work. How I would create a search criteria for my first degree connections is by going into my network, going into see all connections, and now anyone that I've connected with is going to show up here. Okay. Now I can search this with filters if I want to, and I'm going to do that. So let's just pretend I'm going to create a search filter here, and I'm going to go to keywords of, how about this, branch manager. And now I've got over 2,000 results here. So now I could go up here to this and click visit profiles, and this message that I've typed in Dux Soup is now going to go out to everyone in that search criteria. So it would go out to however many people I have set up for it to go out daily. It would push it out to that many people within this search criteria in order as it went through it. Okay? So hopefully there's some value there. Again, we're thinking along the process of we want to focus on a specific market or a specific competitor each day, and then we also want to focus on the jabbing. I want to connect, I want to send a thank you, and then I want to jab with things that are of value. And this is the closest thing that we can do to automating this. So hopefully this gives you a good resource to go back to again and again. With that said, that's the end of this tutorial. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much.